Okay, I'm really glad to be here. This is probably one of those special moments for me, of the many special moments I've had in my life. And to be here at TEDxIUBH and have the opportunity to share a little bit my personal life breakthrough. And as my life breakthrough unfolded over the years, I didn't know it was going to turn into an idea for the world as it was happening. I did not know. And then something started to happen after experiencing it myself. And it's changed me, and it's changed my life and my friends, my family, and it means a lot to me. And I'm very proud that for the first time I've been asked to share this story. And I'm going to give it my best shot. I really am, okay? So in order to understand better what my life breakthrough is about, I got to share a little bit more about my life. You know, who am I? And how did the breakthrough happen? And to do that, I have to go back in time to 1966. It's 50 years ago. And I'm going to show you who I was in 1966. Okay, you know? So that's me, Patrick, right before I turned 2 years old. And my mom put me in a little Navy uniform. She didn't know that later I would end up joining the United States Navy, right? But she put me in that little uniform, and just look at the eyes, because it's part of the story. And then 50 years later, we come back to the future, 2016. This is me today. Okay? So guess what? Something happened. Something pretty scary happened in that 50 years, right? To go from that scared little kid to that scary old man, you know? A lot happened. I'd probably need the rest of my life to tell the whole story of what happened. But I'll bring pieces of it together for you guys today. And you know, when you look at the eyes of the young kid that you saw, that look, you know, that defined my life, defined who I was for a big part of my life, because there's a word I use to explain it, and the word is fear. When that photograph was taken, it was about the first time I saw my dad. Because right after I was born, my dad went on his first tour of duty to Vietnam. And he came back about a year and a half later. And my first memories of my dad, he scared me a lot. And it defined my life. I wanted to do things right. And I was afraid to make a mistake, because when I made a mistake, my dad made me pay. And I was afraid of that. So I tried really hard to be good. And in a way, I wanted my dad to appreciate me and be proud of me. But he was tough on me. He was the toughest guy I ever met. He's the only person I know that voluntarily went back for another tour of Vietnam after his first tour there. And he's the toughest guy I know. And he was tough on me. And it scared me a lot. And at some point, as this fear was defining my life, and I was all by myself, something started to happen. Deep inside me, I discovered something beyond the fear. And what I found was courage. I wanted to stand up and fight back. I wanted to prove to my dad that I was good, that I could be what he wanted me to be. And the toughness he put on me, it taught me everything I knew as a kid. To be honest, to do the right thing, to be there for others. So he was tough, but the principles he was trying to give me were valuable. He did it in a tough way. I promised never to do that myself. But the learning I took with me started to transform my life because I decided to stand up not just for myself. I decided to stand up for others, to get in the way. And I realized as I started to do that, that something inside of me turned on. And I wasn't worthless, as I was told. There was goodness in me. And it was associated with strength and belief and respect and trust. And that strength changed my life over the course of a lot of years as a young person. And when I got into business life, I started to realize something over time. In all the different companies I went to, all the different organizations I worked for, I saw the fear and the courage everywhere. And the fear could stifle us. The fear would stop us from speaking up. It would stop us from doing the right thing for those close to us, or even doing the right thing for strangers near us or far away from us. And I saw that companies and organizations would push so hard on results and on profit and growth that it was the only focus we had all the way around us. And it turned on the fear in us, fear to make mistakes, fear to do the wrong thing, fear to lose my job, fear not to have the income to sustain my family. And it was everywhere, in small companies and big companies. In all the different countries I went to, in Germany, in the United States of America, in Asia. My wife is from Vietnam. What a interesting story that would be if it was another talk, the Vietnam story. And she has taught me so many things. But what I also saw in all the situations, at all the organizations I was at, was the courage. Teams would connect together. You could feel the strength and the energy, the excitement they had, the Begeisterung, which is a German word that says, I'm excited about doing something good with my friends. And I realized that as that defined us, the fear was there, it's part of who we are. But the courage was always right next door, waiting for the moment to be ignited, for us to stand up and go further than we had ever gone before. And I experienced that at so many places. And sometimes I was even in those teams where I could feel it, where I knew we cared for each other, like a family, beyond just friendships. We would go places for each other. And that energy, that realization at some point helped me realize what my purpose was. I felt it. I recognized it. My calling. My calling in life, the reason I was here, was all a part of that whole life that had defined me. Learning from my dad the hard way. Learning in all the different companies and places I had gone the hard way. I ended up quitting my job 7 times along the way because I didn't agree with what leadership decisions were being made in regards to the people around me. Later, when I became a leader, I decided not to quit because I was responsible for my people. I had to take care of them. I had to fight for them. I never quit. But I ended up getting fired 4 times for taking care of my people. I said, there's something wrong in the system. System that when you care for each other, when you do things for each other, it penalizes you because they believe you're not focusing on the right thing to do, to deliver profit and just money back to the organization. But I realized in all the high performance teams that there was something more. There was something more meaningful to us than just profit and money and cars and iPhones. And I realized along the way that every time I lost everything that was dear to me, that the most painful elements was when I lost those close to me, my family, my first daughter. Time and time again, I knew that there had to be an answer to the future that we were all striving for. And that calling became a quest, a journey, a mission, to find the source of that goodness in each of us, To know that no matter where I went in the world, I could see it, I could sense it. I could feel that strength and goodness of everyone I've ever encountered. I could tell that that was something that needed the space and the opportunity and the chance to come alive. We could move mountains with the strength of that belief and those values that connect us together as human beings. So 9 years ago, I started asking the question, what does that look like? When does it happen? How do we turn it on? And can it be simply done in a really easy way? And then we started to try it out. We went to universities and schools. I had 80 people come together at a school I started for 3 years at an academy, where we tried to ask that question and figure out, are there mechanisms that we can utilize that modern research has understood or old philosophies have understood? Is there a way to bring this goodness anywhere, in any setting? And we started to discover realities, little examples of where it would work. And we tried it out at schools, at companies. And the first time I had police officers sit in groups with the exercise, with their guns at their side, I was a little bit nervous about what could happen. But when I saw them connect to each other and understand who they were, why they were doing this job, and why it meant so much to them, I understood that that potential is everywhere, in every country, in every culture, in every language. And as we simplified the exercise down, we got it to a point where it was that simple, that we could take 6 minutes of our time, activate the potential of who we are, why we're here, to feel the goodness inside of us and share it with somebody close. And that's the little example that I brought with me today and would offer for you guys, if you want to invest 6 minutes of your time to feel that potential that's inside you, to ask you to join me in this exercise. Would you guys like to do that? You want to try it out? Willing to give it a chance? You guys good for that? Yeah? You good? Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We'll stop that clock, and then I'm going to explain the exercise to you, okay? Now, this is important for anyone watching on TEDxIUBH, or TEDx, or TED, wherever it goes. Anywhere in the world you watch this. You can do this wherever you are. This has been designed to work in any setting. So you can do this wherever you are. So find a partner. The best is somebody in the room. If you don't have someone with you right now, then Skype with somebody. Do a video call. Get them on the line. If that doesn't work, use your phone. Call your friend. Call somebody. Call your dad. Say, Dad, please. Okay, so get someone on the phone, on Skype, or someone nearby. And I'm going to ask you to sit with your partner so that you guys have the opportunity to answer one question. It's a very simple question, and I'm going to give you that question at the end. The context of what we're going to do in this exercise is all about who you are and what defines you as a person. That's the idea that we're going to try to uncover, just a little bit. It's a very small example. And what we'll do is you'll have 2 minutes time. We'll have a counter at the top here. 2 minutes time to answer the question. In the 2 minutes, the full 2 minutes are yours to begin with, whether you're speaking or not. Your partner will pay attention to you for the full 2 minutes. When the 2 minutes are finished, your partner will give you 1 minute of feedback. The full minute, whether they're speaking or not, you're going to get 1 minute of positive, appreciative, and thankful feedback. See, in Germany, we sometimes do critical feedback, right? Negative, critical feedback, yeah? We're talking positive, appreciative feedback for 60 seconds. The full time is yours. When you're finished, you swap. Now your partner will have 2 minutes to answer exactly the same question, full attention. At the end of the 2 minutes, you will give 1 minute of positive, appreciative feedback. And after that, we're finished. That's 3 minutes plus 3 minutes is 6 minutes. Okay, and this could be, let me push the button, the 6 minutes that change everything. I don't know. we never know what happens with this exercise, okay? The question you have is very simple. Who am I and why am I here? 2 minutes. So, thank you for that. Now, I'm going to give you another 60 seconds to reflect with your partner, because you just did the exercise. But I'd like to give you the opportunity to briefly share with each other, how was it for you? And you got a minute to do that, so please go ahead. Welcome back, and I thank you for the experiment, okay? So I thank you for the time you took for the exercise, okay? So you had the opportunity to speak and to listen. You got the opportunity to give some feedback, positive, appreciative, thankful feedback, and you received it. You received it too. And what the organizers would like to do is give you and the audience the opportunity for a couple of you to share the experience back to all of us. And this is a courage thing, right? So the courage question now is going to jump over to you guys. Who's courageous enough to take the microphone and just briefly share how was it for you? So just raise your hand. We got a hand right there. And yeah, just bring me down a little bit. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so what Irina and I, what we noticed is that while we were talking for 2 minutes, we realized that we were sort of thinking about ourselves while the other person was talking, and we were sort of thinking of how what they were saying was reflecting on us and how it was like we were relating with each other, but so it was hard to sort of give feedback because it was all we were thinking about was like sort of ourselves while we were having the other person talk. Yeah. So that's what we realized, and so it was sort of hard to give the feedback, and later we both realized that it was really like, it was weird how we were sort of thinking about ourselves, but not in a selfish way, but just how it sort of like was their things that they were saying, how they like reflected to us, and how they concerned us.
Perfect, thank you. Good feedback. Anybody else? Thank you. Okay, anybody else? Just bring your hand up, and we want to take 2 or 3 examples of feedback. Anybody else? Feel courageous. There you go, right next door.
So during the talk, I gotta admit, I admitted something to Bob, which I've known quite a few years, but still I'd never admitted it to myself. I know him, but I trusted him with something that was pretty personal. During that talk, I got quite emotional because it's something that I never admitted to myself. And getting feedback on that was also a very good thing, because it gave me a different perspective, something I couldn't have seen that way because I was too much concentrating on myself. So that's the way it helped me out. And that's it.
Amazing. Thank you. Okay, maybe one more, if we've got one more example. How it was for you. Here's the hand. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I thought it was quite interesting as well because, like, it was kind of, we were put on the spot and had to talk for 2 minutes straight away. And I think indirectly you kind of found out what was most present on your brain, or what like your greatest fears were, or what you were thinking about. So I thought that was quite striking because I actually kind of on the spot had to think of what was most present in my brain right now about the question, like, who am I? Because it's quite hard to answer in just 2 minutes. So, yeah.
Okay, super. Thank you. Okay, that's good. Then I'll restart, I guess, and then I thank you very much for that. And we call that a connecting exercise, okay? And as we discovered, all the different mechanisms of human potential, one of the strongest mechanisms is connecting. When we connect, a lot of things happen. And the ability and the opportunity to connect activates so many things in our body, in our brain. Empathy activates immediately. And it's an opportunity because the source of so many things that are important in organizations in our lives, innovation, creativity, change, willingness to go places you've never gone before, it always comes back down to the quality of the connections that we have. And the stronger they can become, the more potential can unfold. And I firmly believe, let me get to our slide, there we go, that the potential that we've got is to not leave one of these most important aspects of who we are and what defines us only to chance. That we find the opportunity to listen and to give appreciation, and the respect and the trust associated with that activates so many things in us. We have the opportunity to do that. If everyone you know would have the chance every day to experience the goodness of who they are, to turn on that quality that's inside of them with people around them. If our parents came home from work with that positive result of having a good day like that every single day, it would be tremendous. And if we would have the chance with friends to open up to things and trust so quickly, something that we may not have ever admitted to ourselves, it opens up opportunities beyond anything we've ever seen before. And last year I was with a friend of mine in India, in New Delhi, with Ravi. He's 73 years old, and he's been spending his whole life trying to find an answer to the future of India. And we talked about the power of connecting and the who am I and the exercise and how we could establish that. And I asked Ravi a question. I said, Ravi, what would it mean for India if every single day everyone would have the opportunity to experience this with one another? And Ravi looked at me, and his answer was, he cried. He cried. He said, Patrick, it would change India forever. So this little breakthrough of my own life has become an idea. And if you can take the chance to listen, even if it's only for 2 minutes, and to give appreciation, even if it's only for 1 minute, take every opportunity that you can to do that everywhere you're at. It has changed my life. And I do believe if every one of us can practice that ourselves, everywhere we go, we will definitely help make this world a better place. I thank you for your attention and wish you lots of goodness.